Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Sir Mala, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about some confusions that people often make in the English language. So there are a number of words, three pairs of words actually, that I've noticed a lot of people misuse them or confuse them in their sentences, either when they speak or when they write on social media and elsewhere. So by the end of this video, you should actually be able to stop saying seize, which means stop, in the place of seize, which means to use an opportunity, okay, or to take advantage of. And you should also be able to stop making confusing between having an edge as having an advantage over something and having the urge to do something, okay? And you should also be able to stop the confusion between saying it's a new dawn in my life and then saying something is done, okay? So without further ado, let me start sharing my screen with you. Let me start my screen share. Here we go. So to begin with, let's look at dawn versus dawn, okay? When we say dawn, pronounced dawn, dawn, which is a noun, this actually means the period in the day when light from the sun begins to appear in the sky. So in other words, you can say it is the early hours of the morning. And that's why dusk, D-U-S-K, is the late hours of the evening when the sun is finally setting and it's beginning to be dark. Okay, now coming back to dawn, examples would be things like we woke up or we woke at dawn. We woke when daylight from the sun or when light from the sun was beginning to appear in the sky. Or we left as dawn was breaking. At the breaking of dawn, at the breaking of dawn, it means at the breaking of the day, when light from the sun is beginning to appear in the sky. We left at the break of dawn. Okay, we left at the break of dawn. And then we can also use this expression, the dawn of something. By the dawn of something, literally, that is metaphorically, we mean the start of a period of time or the beginning of something new, okay? The start of a period of time or the beginning of something new. Examples, the fall of the Berlin Wall marked the dawn of a new era in European history. The fall of the Berlin Wall marked the dawn of a new era in European history. It marked the start of a new period, okay? Okay, now, it's a new dawn in my life today as I celebrate my 40th birthday. This is correct. It is a new dawn in my life today as I celebrate my 40th birthday. This is correct. But everywhere, often I see on Facebook people writing, oh, it's a new dawn in my life, and they write it with D-O-N-E, which is absolutely wrong, which is completely wrong. So please, if you want so happy, you are so excited, and you want to say, oh, it's a new dawn in my life today because I'm 50, I'm 40, I'm 35. Please remember that it is dawn, D-A-W-N, not done, which is actually the past participle of the verb to do, as we see here. So here we go. Done, D-O-N-E, is a verb form, is a verbal form. It's actually the past participle of the verb to do. For example, have you done your assignment? This is the present perfect tense. Have you done your assignment? Present perfect tense, okay? Number two, he has done something special for his community. He has offered them a well-equipped hospital. He has done something special for his community. He has offered them a well-equipped hospital. Again, this is the present perfect. Have you sent that letter to Nigeria? Yes, it is done. Yes, it is sent. You choose any one of these two responses and you can give it and it will be correct. Or you can even say, yes, I've sent it, or yes, I've done it. Have you sent a letter to Nigeria? Yes, it is done. Yes, it is sent. Yes, I've done it. Yes, I've sent it. Okay, the harvesting of these cucumbers will be done in the month of August 2021. The harvesting of this of these cucumbers will be done in the month of August 2021. Then now comes this other pair of confusing words that I find everywhere, and people are not actually supposed to confuse them. So urge versus urge, okay? Urge, 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 urge. I'm touching the pronunciations, the UK pronunciation and the US pronunciation. What actually is urge? Urge is an advantage over other people, okay? So there are many uses of it, but I want to start with the use that people often confuse, okay? Because I've seen people who want to say somebody has an edge over another guy, which actually means an advantage, and instead we're using urge, okay? Which is wrong. So what do? We take some examples to illustrate the use of urge as having an advantage over other people or over another person. In terms of experience, she definitely had the urge over the other people that we interviewed. So please do not say the urge, no, the urge over the other people, okay? Musa has been preparing for 5 years prior to the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. Musa has been preparing for 5 years. So he has an urge over the other runners. He has an urge over the other runners. Please not urge, please. Urge as a noun too cannot mean the outer point of something, okay? So the outer or the furthest point of something. And in this case, we can have examples like this one. He put pink icing around the edge of the cake, around the outer layer of the cake. They built the church on the edge of the village. They built the church on the edge of the village, meaning at the outskirts, outside, okay? At the outer part of the village. And please, let me just use this opportunity, or let me seize this opportunity to tell you this word here, B-U-I-L-T, which is the past tense of build. And also the past participle is not pronounced as belt as people do it in Cameroon all the time. No, it is built. It is built. Please never say belt. No. All right, now let's come to edge. Can also mean the side of a blade or a cutlass or a knife or anything that cuts, or any sharp part of an object that could cut, okay? So we can say, careful with that open can. It's got a very sharp edge, okay? Careful with that knife because a sharp edge can cut you. It can wound you. So, and then edge also means the point just before something very different and noticeable happens. The company is on the edge of collapse. You can also say it is on the verge of collapse, okay? The company is on the edge of collapse. The government had brought the country to the edge of a catastrophe. The government had brought the country to the edge of a catastrophe, okay, to the brink of a catastrophe, quite close to the point of a catastrophe. Okay, but urge, a strong wish or a strong desire, especially one that is difficult or impossible to control. This is the meaning of urge. The two of them seem unable to control their sexual urges. You see, the use of plus the infinitive, okay, to control, okay, plus to infinitive, to control, seem unable to control their sexual urges. Well, don't mind about the infinitive stuff here. That's not so important. And then also the urge to steal is very strong in some of these young men. The urge to steal, the urge to do something. Urge plus to and plus an infinitive form. The urge to dance, the urge, but generally, well, many people will prefer to use urge only with negative things, but you can also actually use urge with positive things. You can say the urge to study further, okay? Yeah, the urge to further my studies, okay? Yeah, then to urge as a verb means to strongly advise or to try to persuade someone to do a particular thing. Lawyers will urge the parents to take further action. Urge parents to, urge parents to, urge plus infinitive to and an infinitive form of a verb. Or you can also say, investigators urge that safety procedures at the site be improved. Urge plus that, to urge that something happens, okay? So to give a kind of like injunction or a serious recommendation. Investigators urged that safety procedures at the site should be improved. Then to urge can also means to encourage someone strongly to do something or to ask that something be done. Party leaders urged her to run for Congress. Party leaders urged her, strongly advised her to run for Congress. Okay? Party leaders urged her to stand as a member of parliament in her constituency. Okay? Yeah. And finally, this pair of words that people confuse every time. Seize versus seize. Let's start with seize, which has the Z. To seize, seize versus seize. Seize, seize. As a verb, it means to take advantage of something that is available. For example, seize a challenge, seize an opportunity. And the noun from this verb is seizure, seizure, seizure. To seize. And if you pronounce it correctly, you will find that there is a clear difference between to seize and to seize. Seize. Some examples of seize. A Malaysian tycoon seized the chance to bid for the company and won. So you don't say he seized, because seize would mean a different thing. It actually means to stop, okay? So we say seized. I would like to seize this opportunity to thank all of you for attending this event. I would like to seize and not cease, not stop, please, not stop. Or you say, I would like to use this opportunity to thank all of you for attending this event. Because seize an opportunity actually means to use the opportunity, okay? Yeah. And then we have to seize, which would mean to take something quickly and keep it or hold it. For example, I seized his arm and made him turn to look at me. So I grabbed his arm and made him turn to look at me. Then we also have to seize, which means to take something using sudden force. Okay? So seize can actually mean to take something by force. The rebels have seized 10 soldiers they use as hostages. The rebels have seized 10 soldiers they use as hostages. So seize means to take something by force. But remember that there is this figurative or metaphorical sense. There is this sense in which you can use seize as being using something like an opportunity. And that's the case where it says seize is often confused a lot with seize. And so finally, we come to cease. What does it mean to cease? Not seize, to cease, cease, to stop something. It means to stop something. Whether the protest will cease remains to be seen. Whether the protest will cease remains to be seen. The company has decided to cease all UK operations after this year, or the company has decided to cease all UK operations after Brexit. Okay? The company has decided to cease all UK operations after this year. Workplace nurseries will cease to be liable for tax. Workplace nurseries will cease to be liable for tax. In this case, there is cease plus to plus an infinitive verb. Or we can say, when this rain ceases, I will go to Mvogada. When this rain ceases, I will go to Mvogada. I will visit Mvogada. I will go to Benakuma. I will go to Wakom. I will go to Ngaundari, okay? And finally, we can also use to cease in a sense, which means to stop an action or a condition, okay? For example, Patron Publishing House had to cease publication after Linus Azon's death. Patron Publishing House had to cease publication after Linus Azon's death. Actually, Patron Publishing House was Professor Linus Tongo Azon's publishing house, which was found in Bamenda, and it has ceased activities since his death. And remember that Azon was one of the finest creative writers in Anglophone Cameroon, with popular titles like The Crown of Towns, The Crown of Thorns, Stranger in His Homeland, okay, and many others, okay, and also the very powerful or very interesting novel with Dennis Nunca, okay, and The Doctor. Okay, now And finally, it was hard to accept that one day he would simply cease to exist. It was hard to accept that one day he would simply cease to exist. And that was that for the sharing of my screen and the examples with you. So I hope that from today onwards, or that today henceforth, or that henceforth, please remember, yeah, people also confuse a lot about the use of henceforth. So just, I hope that henceforth, because when you say henceforth, you actually mean from now onward, or from today onward, or from this year onward. So I hope that henceforth, you will no longer confuse these three pairs of words as I've explained here. And please let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know what you want me to produce more content on, whether English language or whether English and French language mixed together, whether scholarships and study opportunities, whether immigration programs like the Canadian Express Entry and or Destination Canada, Mobility Forum, or immigration to other places, okay? Or cultural content, or some other stuff that you want. And please, if you are new to this channel, do subscribe. Please do subscribe and click on the notification bell. See you again. I am Sam Mala.